Is anyone out there?
Are we live?
Are we live? I think technically we are live.
Nice.
Technically we're live again.
Very
It's
good.
Friday again, man.
My heart's beating. We're
A
live.
week flies by. It's what you're listening time again. It's going to be a great show. I've been looking forward to this one all week. Andrew's back again. Fourth time.
I think sixth actually, but I didn't really count.
Veteran. Mark, thanks for coming on. It's great to meet you.
Thanks. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you too.
Thanks, man. Dean, good to see you again. It's been a while.
Yes, this is my second time. Well, this is
Second
my
time?
first time on this show, but
Yes.
second time with you.
Exactly.
And just to let our listeners and viewers know that outside of Mike here, well, all of us are from New York City and we all know each other. So there's going to be a lot of inside bullshit.
I'll just sit here and you guys carry on.
That'll work.
I know.
I always say this, don't I, Andrew? I always say I love the Long Island episodes. I always have a great time with anyone
Thank
from
you.
Long Island. You know, it's always a good
We
time.
love being with you too.
I don't necessarily understand what's going on, but I always have a good time.
Hey, Mike, I have good news for you. Either do we. We don't know what's going on. What you'll see with us as New Yorkers and us out of borough New Yorkers, it's act like you know. That's
Well,
what
I
it is.
kind of do that every week with the records I pick. You know, it's like
Well, that's just the life of a record collector.
You pull it off, man. You sell it really well.
when am I going to get some royalties? You know, for all these records that I'm selling every week. You know,
It's just sending to you.
just kidding. All right. Actually, Andrew has, to be fair, and some people have sent me records, and I'm very appreciative of it. You know,
Cool.
yeah.
I'll send you records.
I did that. I was like a Japanese. I was like a very Japanese then, wasn't I? I was like, you know, and then immediately everyone was like, you know, yeah, okay, I'll give you this. You like this? I'll give it to you. All right, let me do the old housekeeping before we get going. The fifth guest. Like and subscribe. Always helps out.
You should have the NHL scores will be on the
Right.
NHL, NBA, horse racing.
I'll look into that. I'll get my IT guy on that.
You know, they get the market numbers,
Yes.
S&P.
The sky's the limit with this thing. What's it called? The ticker. That's what it's called.
Ticker, yeah.
The QR, the ticker.
I wish I understood that shit. I probably have a lot more money now.
Yeah, right.
I don't understand it at all.
Yeah. All right. Everyone knows the score. We've got 5 records each.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what anyone else has picked. There might be some surprises. There might be some new stuff. There might be some classics. There might be some punk. There might be some metal. There might be some jazz. We don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to everyone's picks. I'm going to start off with my first pick. I always feel obliged to do a short, sharp shock. I call it a short, sharp shock. These picks when Andrew's on. I haven't done one for a while. When I saw Andrew was coming on, I was like, got to do a short, sharp shock. And luckily, I've got one, and it's new, out of Philly. Just came out on our Sorry State Records, one of my favorite labels. Daniel's a great guy. I love Daniel. Metal punk is a genre that's been gone. You know, it's been around for a while. I get burnt out on it sometimes. It's kind of hard for me to get really excited about any kind of new releases in the sort of metal punk world. This one is an exception. It's incredible. I think anybody that's like, I'll show what the record is. They're from Philly. It's this band called Zorn.
Oh, I know that band.
Nice.
Actually, the back cover is better. Actually, look at these guys. They're very. The record's called Endless Funeral. Very theatrical. The guy comes out in a coffin and stuff when they play live. Very theatrical show.
Screaming Lord Such.
Yes. That's right. You know, the first record to be shown on this show was a Screaming Lord Such record. The very first record.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those records are hilarious. That live footage of his stuff live is awesome. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. But Zorn, see now, what the only thing that when I first saw that it was a band called Zorn, I got confused. I thought it was John Zorn.
Well, there's John Zorn, right? And there was a German band in the 90s and 2000s, like a sort of a power violence kind of band from Germany called Zorn. as well, who are kind of part of that Bremen scene.
Oh, I didn't remember that, but
Yeah, so the name's being used, but it means like anger.
Yeah.
It means
Means like
anger
what?
or rage, or in
Oh, really?
German.
Because back on Homestead Turnpike in Long Island, there's an old butcher that might still be there called Zorn.
Yeah, it's like a chicken place, right, Dean?
Yeah, turkey. I think it's turkey. I think it's like mostly
chicken too. Chicken. It's on. It was in Levittown.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
right
in
near
Levittown.
right near the Tri-County Mall.
Right near the Seaford.
Is he B or Tri-County? I forget what it was.
Tri-County. It's past Tri-County, actually.
Yeah, it was near Pergament where I used to take guitar lessons.
Pergament.
Great,
was
it's already
like a
gone off on a tangent. I have no idea.
This is very important. This is important stuff.
My fault.
Back to Zorn.
My band called Zorn. Yeah.
So
What does this band sound like? Hey, I'll try and describe it. It's a bit tough, but I'm hearing sort of destruction meets bathery with a bit of like anti-Simex kind of thrown in. Good production on this. Like kind of almost like neoclassical, like lead guitar. It's ripping guitar. Great guitar player in this band.
Awesome.
But this stuff really was invented in Japan. This style. Back in the 80s, Gizm, Zorro, the metal punk really was invented in Japan. So it's come a long way. But this is like the best sort of metal punk record I've heard in a long time. I'd happily recommend this to anyone.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's an EP. It's 13 minutes and 57 seconds long.
That's good.
It won't take up much of your time.
See, that's good because, like you said, with the metal punk thing, like it could get tired after a while.
It does. Some of these bands make really long records, and the riffs aren't very exciting. They've got the style down, but the songs are not necessarily very exciting to listen to. That's not the case with this band. Great songs, kind of technical. You know what I was going to say about this band? I think, and I kind of hope it doesn't happen in a way, they've kind of got that potential to have that crossover appeal, like a band like Midnight.
Yes.
They could definitely be snapped up by a bigger label. You could totally see them on tour with like Merciful Fate or a bigger band. They're definitely that, I'm kind of hoping they don't, because I really like them being on Sorry State, like an underground, DIY punk label. I think it's pretty cool. But let's see what happens. I think this record's going to attract a lot of interest from sort of bigger labels, I think. But,
That's cool. Go check it out.
Endless Funeral, Zorn, Sorry State Records just came out a couple of weeks ago. Remember that band Subculture? Remember them? They're from North Carolina.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
This Sorry State is about to reissue like an unreleased Subculture LP. There,
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Unreleased.
I think
Good
Pink and
stuff,
Vomit just reissued that record.
They reissued the first album, I think.
Right,
This is like an unreleased recording.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Right?
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, that's my first pick. Andrew,
Awesome.
what you got? What's your first pick?
So it's a good segue from metal punk to metal punk, kind of, right? So, a little bit of a different genre than what you were talking about, but in 2005, 2006, I was in a band, and we were just trying to rip off like D-beat bands like Tragedy and like From Ashes Rise, and this band too, Skid System.
Oh, there you go.
We love this record. This is Stigmata, is their last album, but it's a venture more into metal, but not heavy metal, D-beat metal, kind of like Dysphere, but a little more Skid System, straightforward, And I only had the CD before this. Havoc just reissued it with a new cover, and the CD art, in my opinion, was terrible. It was like this horrible, stupid picture, but they reissued it with new artwork, and actually Laura from Kylesa did the cover, did the image. There.
Nice.
So this album was recorded. It sounds huge because it was recorded where like At the Gates recorded,
Sunlight?
Studio Fredman.
Oh, that's good.
In Gothenburg.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. GTA,
Nice.
hardcore, whatever. So this record is awesome. I saw Skid System once, and they played in Brooklyn. And I don't know, it was before this record came out. I think they kind of like weren't writing this stuff yet, and then they're kind of like just like kind of You know what I mean?
I've heard that they were quite boring live. I've heard people say that they weren't.
I don't want to say it, but I love Skid System. So, but this record, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people talk about it, but I'm glad Havoc Classic label reissued this recently.
Awesome.
And all the lyrics are in Swedish, of course, but they have captions in English underneath, and I was reading some of them, and I was like, well, I'm kind of glad I don't know what the lyrics are, because some of the topics were really fucking out there, man. Like
Really,
child abuse and stuff like that,
Okay.
and, like atrocities of war, like stuff I wasn't like kind of ready for. I wasn't ready to read that day.
That sounds like your typical Scandinavian hardcore.
No, it was just like one of those things. It was like one of those days, but I love the record, so that's my first one.
That's definitely sort of like you said. It's like that. I'm going to say it. It's like stadium D beats, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I love that stuff.
Big production, big fat production.
You'll see some of my picks. I love all that kind of big production. I love all that shit. So when they do it, like when they try to be ambitious about it, but without being corny, that's what they did there, and it worked. I thought. But
is Thomas from Out the Gates? Was he in that band? Or he was in?
Yeah, he was in that band. He's not on this record, though.
Okay.
But he wasn't like a founding member. I think he like filled in live. Then he played on a record. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But what band hasn't he been in Sweden, right? We can go down the list right now. It's probably like 20 names, right?
Yeah.
So that guy's awesome.
I like that Coincidence Control is talking about our posters in the back. That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, what's he talking about? I was like, okay.
Well, like behind me, he sees the Night of the Creep poster here, and over here is the Toxic Avenger poster. And then he also sees the Wicker Man and Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver was a classic.
Dead. Yeah.
Wicker Man. That's probably my favorite from that particular list down there.
Oh, it is
original, of course, not the Nicolas Cage.
The original is amazing.
No, not the original. I mean, not the remake.
That's such
The
a great
remake's pretty bad.
The remake's bad, but I love the original. The original version, the
That's a great
soundtrack.
score, too.
The
that's
soundtrack
great.
is amazing. Yeah,
I've got
one of
it's
them.
weird as fuck. It's great, dude. It's fucking great.
Beautiful.
That's mostly what I collect now. I collect mostly movie soundtracks.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
I'm only doing one on this though.
Okay.
I don't think I brought any with me, but I did get, and when I was in Seattle, I did get an original promo copy of the Apocalypse Now soundtrack.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've actually been going down the John Carpenter road as well. You know.
Oh yeah, I got all that. I got all those. So
Yeah.
I got all those. Plus like 5 different pressings of like fucking all the of Halloween 3, which I think was Halloween, the two greatest soundtracks, scariest soundtracks. Halloween 3, Exorcist 2. Exorcist 2
I love Exorcist 2. I love Exorcist 2.
Dude, Exorcist 2 soundtrack, fucking Ennio Morricone went fucking crazy on it. It's a rule. It's a totally fucking rule.
There's somebody made a video where they do the Exorcist 2 the theme song.
Yeah.
But they cut the movie so well that it looks awesome, right? That movie looks awesome. That movie sucks balls, right?
Yes and no. Like I have a soft spot for it because you get to see Linda Blair in a sheer 90. So, so
that's a great cast,
cool.
Too.
And also James Earl Jones is awesome in it. And there's a few scenes that are amazing. I mean, it's not a great movie, but there's
it's so bad. It's so bad.
It is,
but it's good to hear that the soundtrack's good. Though I'm keen to check.
The soundtrack is phenomenal, and I was so lucky to have seen Ennio Morricone at Radio City Music Hall.
I was there,
and he did a song from Exorcist 2, and it was amazing.
Wow!
Did he? I don't think.
Yeah, I still have like the playbill thing from that show.
I did too. I have it too.
Not to turn this into a movie show, but like, is Exorcist 2 better than Exorcist 3?
No,
it's not. Great scene in Exorcist 3 with the nurse. Is a really good scare tactic.
Oh, I've seen that clip. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I have a weird soft spot for Exorcist 2, but I know it's not good. But
Yeah.
I have a weird soft spot. Is sometimes some movies I've seen, like waking up hungover, and like especially when I was living in Astoria, Queens, I wake up hungover, could barely see, and I go across the street and get like a whole chicken and rice and beans and with my hands in bed while watching like horror movies. So that was one of the things that came on. So like that has listen, this is very important stuff. I hope you people are writing this fucking down.
All right, that's a great pick. All right, Mark, what's your first pick? What you got?
Did you have a pick, Dean? I didn't realize.
I picked already. You go next.
All right, my pick is Dictators Baby by the Toy Dolls, which is the opposite of everybody else here, I guess, right?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay,
no, that band's a blast.
If you told me you hate this band, I get it. I completely get it. I can see how it could annoy you, but what's his name? Olga's just an amazing guitar player. Supposedly Eddie Van Halen says he's a great player, or said he was a great player too, but I never actually saw that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. This is right. Pretty freaking English, right? I mean, the humor on this thing, I don't really quite get, and like, but it's catchy, and I don't know. It's one of those things. They were huge, right? At one point,
they had the big hit,
Nelly
the Nelly the Elephant thing. So everybody knew that song, and maybe didn't, the populace knew Nelly the Elephant, but most people didn't know any of the other songs, right?
Right.
But they're pretty big in the punk scene for sure, But I think they were considered it was good and bad, to have that hit. People kind of set them as like a novelty band after that, which is a little bit unfair because, as you say, like he's an amazing guitar player.
He's amazing.
Right. And when I was a kid,
is that a Venus record sticker on the front?
Yeah, it is, and it's $3. And there's a sound sticker right here, and I got it off.
Oh, you got it off? Wow.
Well, because it was already off, but like I got the junk off. But this
what Toy Dolls record is that? It's
Dig That Groove Baby.
Dig That Groove Baby. That's an LP, right?
Yeah, and it's got Nelly the Elephant, and it's got what's my favorite song on this? Glenda and the Test Tube Baby. That's my favorite Toy Dolls song. And when I was a kid, I thought they're on that Strength to Oi record.
Right.
And I'd always see these tough dudes wearing that shirt, right? And I was like, oh, that's an Oi band, Toy Dolls. So I bought at Bleecker Bob's, I bought the She Goes to Pheno's 45.
That's a great song. That's a great song. Yeah.
And I kept playing it, and I said, this can't be the right speed. There's no way if this is an Oi band.
He's like a cartoon character, isn't he? He's got that sort of very squeaky voice. It's almost like not like it's like a cartoon character, right? It's crazy.
Right. So I was always confused by this band as a kid, but
if you went to one of their gigs back in the day, it was violent and dangerous for you. You couldn't go to a Toy Dolls gig, man. It was like full of the lads.
Yeah. I saw them at Stevie's, I think, in the 90s. I think it was in the 90s. I'm not sure.
That's a band I never got to see, and I regret it because everyone said they put on an unbelievable show.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of, it was just crazy.
You wouldn't be surprised to hear they're huge in Japan. They fit so well, that sort of cartoon image, anime character kind of thing. It's perfect for they're massive here, and but he's in the Cockney Rejects now, right?
I know, yeah. I'm seeing him next month in London. We're going to London just to see the Cockney Rejects, and he's playing guitar. Olga's playing guitar.
You know what? He actually elevates those songs. I saw a couple of videos. It's like, yeah, man, he's the guitar player they've needed for a while. It's
he's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite.
Someone did show a Toy Dolls record about 5 or 6 episodes ago, like the 5-track, 12-inch EP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
What a band! And still going, so right? Of course.
Yeah, still playing.
I think so.
Think so.
Hey,
all right, Dean. You said I saw your message. You said you're gonna confuse me with some of your picks tonight, so I'm looking.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first one is a new one. I pulled out this. I'm sorry, the shit's still on it. Is the new Uncle Acid record. All right.
That's a wild record.
This is the Nelda Aura. Now we were talking about soundtracks. This is a soundtrack. This is a soundtrack for a fake movie that might be real now. I think they're touring as if they made it real, which the singer wrote on. This record has no bangers on it, which is a big. No, seriously, this is the remember we were talking about Rise Above before.
We were.
Yeah. Now we were talking about Rise Above, and we were talking about like maybe they don't give the best deals to their artists. Maybe I'm not going to say.
We don't know. Yeah.
This record, I think in their mind, in Uncle Acid's mind, I think this was their last record for Rise Above. I think they were like, oh, this is our last record. Let's just do whatever we want to do, and I think in some ways, some people thought it was like, because this band's getting big, like this band's getting really big. And I think for some people, it was like, this is commercial suicide. They put out a soundtrack, like a fake soundtrack, and there's no bangers on it. There really is no bangers on it. There's really not much as songs wise goes, like stuff I could sing back to you. Like it's not like their other records where I could like, oh, there's like 3 or 4 great songs on here. I remember the riffs. The thing is, the vibe is fucking rad. The vibe is total giallo. What they were going for. It has that vibe like you're watching Argento or Bava or Fulci. It has that cool fucking giallo vibe, which is like, it sounds a little bit like Morricone, and at times it sounds like Goblin, and all that giallo soundtrack shit. I love that stuff. So I can't say like, this record's chock full of great songs. It's just a vibe. It's a great
right.
And I love that. I love that this band decided to do this. And I don't know if it was like, okay, let's just put one more record out and get out of our contracts before we sign to a bigger label. Because I guarantee you, I mean, the band, these shows are all sold out across the world. So I guarantee you they're going to some bigger label. But some people might have thought, I thought like, oh my God, this is just them trying to get out of their contract and getting out. But it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal as a vibe. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no songs. Like that one song, La Vipera, is kind of songy, but it's not about the songs. It's about the whole vibe of the record.
Right.
And that's also me being this weirdo soundtrack guy now. Like I love, like I'm the type of guy who, goes to sleep to, the Blade Runner soundtrack or Sorcerer by Tangerine Dream, like every night, So it's like, I love that shit. So this, for a band, a rock band, to put out a record like this and do it really well, I was so skeptical when this came out because I have all their records and I like them, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It took me a few listens to be like, oh, this isn't about the songs, this is about the vibe, and they fucking nailed it. And I'm psyched to see this whole situation live, which is going to be, I guess, early next year.
It's all like seated, right? The show.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the show I'm going to see them at is at the Town Hall on 43rd Street with all seats. Like it's the kind of place where I see like Richard Thompson play, like shit like that.
Yeah.
But it should be interesting. I mean, this will be my fourth or fifth time seeing the band, and so I'm excited about that.
It's an amazing, very bold, very sort of like 1970s move in a way. We're just going to do whatever we want. We don't care what the label wants. We're just going to do what we want to do. The attention to detail is incredible. Like Kevin Stars is kind of a genius.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. And I just like, they just basically threw their sort of signature sound that they're known for, that sort of Beatles meets Black Sabbath, which is a very simplistic way of putting it, but that's kind of what it is. Out the window, it's gone, and just do something completely like left field. And I don't think anybody thinks this record is okay. They either really like it or don't like it,
I have a lot of friends who don't like it. They're just like, oh, this. They say it's. I mean, like they say, every single person who doesn't like it, there's no bangers on it. No bangers.
There's no songs.
I understand. I understand that. But it's like, I mean, it's. I guess it's their Metal Machine music record. I guess. And look, I got a shout out from Victorious Metal.
You did. Hey, thanks for tuning in.
You know
Always
what? You know,
like shout outs.
yeah, but the shout out from those guys is the best because right now, you know what they're doing? They're deep frying everything.
Deep fried
Those
Mars
guys
bars, right?
from Scotland, they're deep frying everything. You know when they say they're eating the dogs, they're deep frying the dogs. Deep frying
deep fried cholesterol. That's what they eat up there, right?
They love it. They love it. Last time I was there, I was on tour, and some guy came in after the show, drunk out of his fucking mind. He's like, "You guys have to try this." I'm like, "What is it?" It was deep fried pizza, like slices of pizza, deep fried. I'm like, no, thanks.
You
Hail
tried
to
it?
Scotland.
No.
Hail to Scotland.
Hail to Scotland is right. Scotland rules, though. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I love Scotland too.
Fucking great. So what do you got next?
I'm going to change my order around a little bit kind of because it very, 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 it's very loosely ties into Dean's Peak in a sense that this band was kind of known for their songs, and this record is also kind of about mood and atmosphere as opposed to songs. So I'm going to show it right after Dean's Peak, sort of a very, very loose sort of tie-in. But as well as that, who would have thought that a band that sort of formed in when did this band form? Like 78, Portland, Oregon band. Basically one guy, actually, really. But 1978, bunch of records. They were going to be like a studio project. They were going to put out 15 albums in 10 years, I think was their goal when they started. This guy. They didn't do that. They broke up. And then they got back together again and they made some more records. I saw this in the shop the other day and I was like, man, I wonder... I love the look of this record for a start, but I was like, man, I wonder what this record sounds like. You know, I'm talking about the Wipers, you know?
Yeah. I don't know that record.
I mean, I don't think many people do. I mean, apparently it's really hard to get on vinyl. Maybe it hasn't been reissued yet. It's called The Herd. It looks like a prog rock record, kind of. But look at that. It's beautiful, man. Look at that.
I don't know that record at all. I have their other records, which I really like.
I've gone up to Land of the Lost. That was as far as I'd gone, right? And they have two more after that, The Circle and Silver Sail. I haven't heard either of those.
I don't know those at all.
Right, I haven't heard them, but like this one does not have, you know, a Return of the Rat or an Upfront or a sort of punchy, catchy punk song. It's very dark, grey, atmospheric, not catchy at all. It's all about the mood, the atmosphere. It's so Portland, grey skies.
Yeah,
this is like post grunge. You know, they say that Greg Sage is sort of like, you know that he very influenced sort of grunge and stuff. This is like obviously post grunge. It's like 1996.
Yeah.
What kind of a band comes out with like a record like this, like 10 records deep into their catalog? I love it. It's just, but nothing jumps out at you. It's just it's all about the guitar tone and the sort of mood and the atmosphere. Greg Sage just lets loose on the guitar, like kind of Neil Young, you know?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
What year is that from?
It's from 1996 and it's on Tim Kerr Records.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's probably why it's so hard to find, too.
Exactly. When I looked up a little bit, I was like, you can't find this. You know, they didn't press many, not good distribution.
I was also think about 1996. No one wanted to press records.
Exactly.
they were like done with it. They were like, it was hard to find people to press records. There was hard to find people to press records.
This is the CD era, right? The CD age.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Yeah.
Totally. Dark
times. I'm not sure if this has been reissued. It deserves a reissue. I mean, all the other records have been reissued. I know, this one. But don't go into it expecting, Return of the Rat or Upfront. It ain't that. But it's a great record. And it's a late night record. Side 2 is better than side 1. Just sort of let yourself be carried away by the sort of the atmosphere of this record. It's a really great record.
I'm psyched to hear that.
The Herd. It's called The Herd. The Wipers.
H-E-R-D.
H-E-R-D. The Herd. They were a two-piece at this time too, just Greg Sage and Steve Plow. So basically, it's almost like a Greg Sage like solo record, almost really.
Yeah.
But,
excellent.
Great record. Love the Wipers. Was not expecting this at all. I bought it just sort of just hoping. I don't know really what I expected really, but great stuff.
Awesome.
Got to check that out.
Just give it a listen. It's different. I love it, but it's not as much of a left field turn as the Uncle and the Acid, but it's definitely different.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
What you got, Andrew?
So
yes.
I got a segue.
I know what he's got. The PMS demo. It's his favorite.
That's his favorite. The dark gray skies, kind of no leaves on the trees music from Long Island, but kind of like dark,
shit!
like we were talking about.
There it is.
There you go.
No, I can't believe nobody's ever showed this record on the show before.
I thought they had. Maybe I was thinking about it one time, but I ended up not showing it. Maybe.
Yeah, this is classic doom metal, dark metal, whatever you want to call it. But it influenced like a lot of people, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'm sure Corrupted was influenced by Winter.
I think so.
Grief. I Hate God. I'm sure all those bands definitely took something from Winter. They were definitely like ahead of the curve. What's that?
Which copy is that, Andrew?
Oh, this is the Southern Lord reissue.
I have the same one.
I have that one.
Yeah,
that one's hard to get now, though, right? That's
the Black Vinyl. Really? I got this at Kucha's store actually.
Okay.
In Massachusetts a while ago. But the liner notes are cool. It comes with like a booklet, and Ron Grimaldi actually does run liner notes in it.
Did he really?
Because he grew up with them.
Like, no, definitely.
Really tight friends with them. But Winter did cool shit like Rock Against Racism, like cool. They took part in a lot of the the underground scene in the city, New York City. They played with punk bands and metal bands. They kind of bridged that world, They had I
thought of them always like a peace punk band back then.
They played with all those bands, but they were
friends with like all like Insurgents and all those.
Yeah, Nausea. I saw them at
really cool stuff in here. Really cool. It's great. It's worth getting this one for the booklet. But Ron did the liner notes, and I did this is a shout out to Ann. I did kind of listen and wear. So Ron did the liner notes, and that's his band Death Cycle.
Death Cycle.
Ron is a very tight friend to all of us on the show. So
get him on. We did try. We tried to get one.
We'll get him one day. It's gonna have to be on my couch. He's gonna have to ride his bike with the records over to my house, and
I told him I was doing this. He doesn't want it.
I know. I felt that. Yes.
I tried to get Ron to be a DJ on Give Me Metal when we had him, and he was into it, but he just didn't understand. Like, I got him a microphone, and I had him come to my house and show him how to do everything. And I just knew when he was leaving, he's never going to do it. He was just not going to do it. Right now. He just wasn't going to do it.
You know what Winter remind me of? To me, they're sort of like the American Amoebics. I mean, they even probably took their name from the Amoebics. I should have said Amoebics too. Right? Yeah. It's that thing where it's that they are sort of punks, but they're sort of playing metal, and playing with both kinds of bands. And
yeah, they're Long Island's answer to Celtic Frost.
That too, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And I like when they speed up a little bit, but then they slow it back down. They speed up and slow it back down. And the production is weird, but it works. Like you can't listen to it any other way now. That's the production, and that's what you got, and you have to enjoy it because it's a masterpiece. But
cool. What's the name of that record again, Andrew?
What's that?
What's the name of the album? Just to make sure.
Into Darkness. Into Darkness. Yeah. I love how they did the fonts. Well, somebody drew that, but I'm sure. And actually, they went on to be a band called Godin.
They put out a record, didn't they, a few years ago?
They did, and they put out two, I think. And one of the members that was in Winter also passed away.
Passed away, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Tony.
Oh, the keyboard guy?
Yeah. He's
yeah. Ron was telling me.
So that's sad. But Winter will be immortal, right? So there you go.
That's a classic of the genre, whatever that genre is,
I say doom metal, but doom metal could be very diverse.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, But
he came to the store recently. That guy, what's it, Stefan?
Yeah, Stefan.
Yeah, he came to the store to see Ron, and he remembered me and him. And do you remember Teddy that worked at Venus?
Yes.
Little Teddy.
Little Teddy.
I know Teddy since 7th grade.
Get out of here, really?
Yeah.
We all got messed up at his house. He lived on Rivington Street. It was 30-something years ago, but he remembered that.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, but Winter's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great record.
Yeah. So, Mark, what you
got? I was shocked. I was going through the list. I'm like, nobody showed Winter before? Wow.
We haven't even touched the surface yet. Now, there's a lot of records.
That's true. That is true.
All right, Mark, what's your second pick? What you got?
45 Grave Autopsy.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
So this is like a weird comp of their earlier stuff. I only saw this record new once, and I bought it in 88 or something like that. I don't know exactly the I don't know, because the Black Cross and Wax is on here. That's 7-inch, but the rest of the stuff I don't know where it's derived from at all. But it's the earlier stuff. Dinah Cancer doesn't sing everything. There's like 2 or 3 songs other people sing, but the stuff is only on, as far as I know, this has never been reissued, and it's amazing. This is the best stuff by far, I think. It's not as metal as what's that album? Sleep and Safety. It's a little less I don't know. It's more punky. It's got a punkier edge to it.
Death Rock.
Death Rock, right? You're right. They don't. Yeah, you can't call it God. They used to hate that.
Yeah.
The Death Rock kids back then.
Oh yeah. Between them and Tex and the Horseheads.
Right. And
I have a friend who was in Tex and the Horseheads.
Really?
Yeah. Has great stories.
But,
and my wife used to live in LA and knew Dinah.
Oh really?
She knew that whole crew. Yeah.
I mean that stuff's great. There was this show called New Wave Theater. They were on a bunch of times. I think all that stuff's on YouTube, and that stuff's amazing. And they were fucking great at one point, and like, I guess they're best known for Return of the Living Dead. Yeah,
which is awesome, but it's not.
No, that's awesome, but it's a totally different sound than that. It's completely different. That version of what's it called? Party Time is totally different than that.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I just think that record's so fucking amazing. And that's it.
I have another 45 Grave record. It's not that, but it's also like a early demos or early stuff collection. But it's a different one.
Cleopatra, right?
You know what? I think we were just talking about them, right? I think it is. Yeah.
I remember I didn't like that one because it was like there's like weird tape loop stuff on there and stuff like that. Yeah,
it was one of those ones where you're sort of duped into thinking you're sort of buying the best 45 Grave material.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know.
Sounds like Cleopatra.
Yeah, exactly.
That whole scene is really cool. That early '80s death rock LA thing with like Christian Death and that's just really cool. That was like a really cool scene that only stayed there. Like it went as far as it went as far east as like to like Phoenix and Tucson, where they had like you know like Mighty Sphincter and all those weirdo band. It got even weird when you go into the desert. Things get fucking weird. Like Sun City Girls, what the fuck?
Oh man, I
went to go see them live because I love their records, and it was a play. It wasn't even a band. It was like they put on a play. It was so fucking weird. It was awesome though. It was like they played a little bit, but it was mostly like a play. Like they had like it was like a scripted. It was so fucking weird, but it was cool.
What year was this?
This is like a 92 at Knitting Factory on Houston.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that place.
So fucking weird, dude. It was awesome though. What a cool band. Like, you know, all that weirdo shit, like that desert stuff.
Placebo record stuff.
Meat Puppets, you know, like fucking weird, dude. All those bands are weird, like really weird. They like burnt by the sun, you know, like old desert fucked up.
Do you ever have that comp on Placebo? It's something about the Circle Jerks. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, never mind the Circle Jerks. One of those.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's the Circle Jerks. Phoenix, someone. I think I don't know if I had that one. I definitely had a bunch of those crazy fucking Phoenix Tucson band records. I still have a bunch of them. It's so they're weirdo bands. But they're weirdo people. You know, you burnt that Desert Sun, man, fucks you up.
I can't. New Manson Family or something. That one record.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that. There was weird stuff out there. I liked it though.
Yeah. No, I like that. So I bought all that weird shit when I was like, you know, when you get Thrasher and those ads were in there, you know, when you're in 9th grade or whatever. So you just order all those records and it's not exactly what you expected, but it's cool shit.
There it is.
There it is. There you go. Cheers.
That boy from Boston, Caffeine and Cookies. This is Phoenix, not the Circle Jerks. Yeah. That's awesome.
There you go.
JFA, thank you. JFA was another.
JFA is weird too, right?
They are weird.
I
Dude. They're
know. Yeah,
fucking
they're
weird.
not a regular hardcore band.
No.
Yeah, they're just weird. They're like, like when and it was, and Thrasher was a big fan of that stuff back in the day. That early skate rock, those skate rock comps were weird. Like that band Drunk Engines. What the fuck was
Yeah.
that? It's fucking weird shit. That was weird. There's a lot of weird stuff. And I don't know if you guys like that Mighty Sphincter stuff. That shit is fucking awesome and weird. And hey, Caffeine and Cookies in the house.
Caffeine and Cookies.
Awesome. He just celebrated a birthday. Happy birthday, Caffeine and Cookies.
Happy birthday.
But that desert shit is fucking weird, dude. I mean, I understand it because if I spend I spend 2 days out there in the desert, my brain is shot, dude. It's the sun is just it's unexpurgated fucking desert sunlight fucking destroys you. I don't understand how people live out there. I don't get it. And he's right. That JFA record is weird. Weird band. Weird bands from out there.
Weird band. I always thought they were weird the first time I heard it. I was like, on a tape with like 7 seconds, and then any other hardcore band from the time, I was like, oh, this ain't like 7 seconds, or
right.
you or whoever.
Well, that's what was the coolest thing about the Blasting concept record. Like, you had all these hardcore bands, and they all sounded different.
Right.
But then, it was like, yeah, you have the Minutemen and Black Flag and Stains and Worm. Yeah, that record's awesome. And then like fucking Meat Puppets come on. You're like, what the fuck is this? Like, as a kid, you're expecting like hardcore, and you're like, what is this, like 4-year-old kids who can't play their guitars at all? But it's awesome. It's totally awesome. And that band is cool because I love when bands, you see their progression. The progression from Meat Puppets 1 to Meat Puppets 2, it's like they learned how to play because they went on tour and learned how to play, and it's like a totally different band. It's awesome. Totally. Yeah. I love that kind of shit. I love that kind of. Same thing happened with the Damned. Like, you see the Damned. I mean, not that the Damned couldn't play at first, but you see that band, they really learned how to play. It was great, man. That's awesome. So awesome. But that band rules. That's for another time. And I'm wasting time. I'm gonna pull this
We're all
out.
about wasting time on
This record.
Oh,
okay. This record is the greatest heavy metal record ever made by a band that would never call themselves heavy metal. Though they did call themselves metal just to piss people off. Mr. Fripp here, he hated the term prog rock. But this record, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It fucking rules. Like, this record fucking rules. Like, it's the craziest fucking guitar playing. And you have Bill Bruford on drums, who fucking rules. The production's perfect. And I will go on record and repeat what a friend of mine said about John Wetton's bass tone on that record is probably the greatest bass tone ever recorded. And his singing is fucking
beautiful. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
And then they do this heavy shit, and then all of a sudden, like, Starless comes on. First of all, you guys seen Mandy? You guys fucking seen Mandy? The movie Mandy?
Not yet.
No.
You haven't seen Mandy with fucking Nick Cage?
I want to.
You guys have fucking homework to do because that movie rules. But the greatest thing ever is I went to see Mandy in the theater. Well, I loved Beyond the Black Rainbow, which is that guy Panos' first movie. And I love that soundtrack. That soundtrack is one of the greatest soundtracks ever. Is the keyboard player from Black Mountain, Sinoa Caves.
Okay.
And it's fucking amazing. Like, that's my go-to record when I'm on a plane and I take a fucking gummy and I'm on my third fucking Bloody Mary and I fucking about to fucking take off, and that Beyond the Black Rainbow comes out. It's a dun dun dun. It's like, I'm out, dude. I'm out. It's the best. So Mandy, his second movie, Panos' second movie, it opens. You guys have to fucking see this.
We will. Promise.
I wrote it down.
It opens with Starless. I was in the theater, and the movie opens with Starless, and I'm like, within 3 minutes, I'm like, this is already my favorite movie ever made. It's like fucking crazy. But that record is what everybody everybody should like. I mean, that's what everybody should be like. That's the blueprint for like fucking weirdo metal. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like you can't tell me there'd be a Voivod without that record. Or I'm sure Rorschach guy. I'm sure Keith was into that record. Or if he wasn't, he is somehow indirectly, because
they covered a 21st century schizoid band. So
that record is like on a different level. Like like the early stuff does sound kind of dated. That record still sounds like it's from the future. Like,
oh yeah,
Red.
yeah. I have a friend who just opened a record store in Seattle, and a friend of his got Robert Fripp to do like a cameo, like for him, like a congratulations on opening a record store, and Fripp just comes on the screen. And he starts playing Red. And he's just like, okay, you don't have to say anything. He just starts playing Red by himself. And then he says something really hilarious. Oh, you're opening a record store. That's pretty brave in this day and age. But the guitar playing on that record, you know, I could talk about it for days and days and days. The songs
Me too. Me too.
Fucking Red, the song Red, and then one more Red Night. It's like, what the fuck, dude? These guys fucking wrote the book on how to make a fucking insane record, and it's amazing.
It's fun. I mean, it's tough because I recommend that record to so many people, but it's a hard sell to people because they're like, oh, you know, progressive rock, blah blah blah. It's like, no, give it a try. Give this record a chance because it's not what you're expecting. You know. Another story is there's a band from Osaka which is actually ex-SOB members. They're called Rise from the Dead.
Oh yeah,
and they were sort of quite a technical hardcore band. They put out that was their favorite record, and so they put out a live VHS on Selfish Records, and they called the live video "One More Red Nightmare." But I don't think anyone kind of got the reference. You know, at that time, they were super into that record.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And then, of course, there's the Bill Bruford with the broken hi-hat. Is it the broken cymbal?
Yeah.
Which he used on the record.
Yeah. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. And, you know, you can't, you really, in my opinion, that's like one of the greatest records ever made.
Me too. Exactly.
It's fucking awesome.
It's untouchable. It's their best record, in my opinion.
I think so. I actually really love those 3 Baloo records. I really love Discipline. Like, I think Discipline's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it hits you in a different way. The Discipline, that 3 records with Baloo is almost like their new wave.
It's them,
even though it's not new wave, it's like their new wave period. But as far as like just complete crushing heaviosity and the blueprint of how everything. If I was to play every instrument and even sing, that's what that's the record I'd want to make.
Right.
That's that's the record I'd want to make. I want to leave that. You know, I'd want like the fact that they left that as like a fucking document.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And
they could have died after that, but in that greatest band ever. Just like Aerosmith, Aerosmith after Night in the Ruts. If they died after that, they would have been the greatest band ever. And Ted Nugent would have been the greatest ever if he died after the Cat Scratch Fever record. But unfortunately, we have to live with that.
Ted Nugent is not dead.
No. Yeah, I know. Damn Yankees.
He was in a metal band with Scott Ian too, right? They're like, remember that?
He was in the metal band with
Evan from Biohazard, Ted Nugent, and Scott Ian. It was like some TV show they made up, reality show.
Super group.
Let's not give any more time to Ted Nugent. Red, one of the best records of all time. Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you. It is.
That's a hard one to follow. I'll give it a go. There's sometimes when you're in a record store and you see a record, you haven't heard it, but you know just because of what it says on the cover that, well, it's got to be good. So I bought this one a couple of weeks ago. It's a kind of a collaboration between 3 guys from a San Diego band who I love. I think Andrew's a fan of this band, I know for sure. San Diego band. And then another guy who's from New York. An older dude who was around like in the mid-70s playing punk with his band. So it's this old guy from New York and then these 3 guys from San Diego kind of came together in the mid-90s and sort of magic happened. I think they went on tour together. I think there was a tour. I'm talking about Rocket from the Sonny Vincent.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Sonny Vincent and Rocket from the Crypt. I had no idea. Like I love Rocket from the Crypt and I like the Testers as well, obviously. But I had no idea this record existed until like 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that.
right. But this is actually kind of a reissue on Swami Records with a different cover. Slightly different naming of the record. It has 2 extra tracks. It's been sort of remixed, and apparently it sounds like way better. but it's John Race, Andy, and then what's his name, Mario Rubalcaba, the super drummer.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable drummer.
I was looking up Chicano Christ, Klikatat Ikatawi.
Yeah, they amazing band.
411, Hot Snakes,
I
Earthless.
forgot 411. Oh my god.
Anyway,
what is that? Is that Marco's bands? Marco's Rinaldo's bands?
Mario.
Mario. I mean, yeah, he was also. He's in Earthless too.
He's in Earthless now. Yeah.
He fucking kicks ass, and he was also in Off.
Yes.
I saw Off. He was playing drums.
Yeah. He's in Circle Jerks now as well. Is that wrong?
No, that's the guy from Blast.
That's another super drummer, right?
Oh, that's Joey C from. He was in. I played with him when he was in Sugartooth.
Yes.
And then he was in Queens of the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Eagles of Death Metal, and he was also in Circle Jerks. Circle Jerks now.
He was in Wasted Youth. He's on the second record.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. He's a great drummer. Amazing drummer.
Yeah.
Amazing drummer.
I mean, yeah, I was like, I had obviously just looking at it, so I was like, man, this better be good. And, it's like, it doesn't disappoint. It's like, it's exactly what you would expect. And I want to say, like, some people don't like Rocket from the Crypt. I love Rocket from the Crypt. I love them. But some people don't like the horns and the 50s rock and roll. That's all gone on this. There's none of that. There's no horns. It's just straightforward, stripped down punk garage, like rock and roll. It just rips. It's so if you're sort of not a Rocket from the Crypt fan, man, this,
I'd probably like that. I'm not a huge Crypt fan. I've seen them a couple times. I have the records. I just don't really love it.
Right.
But I do like Sonny Vincent.
He sings too. Sonny Vincent is the singer. It's not John Race. Sonny Vincent sings. Yeah. I mean,
What's your favorite Rock from the Crypt record, Mike?
Oh, don't ask me that.
Mine's Circa Now.
I know mine. Mine's Circa Now also.
I do like Scream, Dracula Scream.
That's great also.
But Hot Charity is probably my favorite.
Hot Charity is amazing also.
They're all good. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I got to hear that though.
It's amazing. Like I said, no horns, no 50s like doo-wop or and some of the stuff that people don't like about Rocket from the Crypt. That's all gone. This is probably this is more sort of Testers, Sonny Vincent than it is Rocket from the Crypt. But with the amazing like drumming and guitar playing of those guys, right? So
I just spoke to Sonny. What's that?
Vintage
Piss, great title, great sort of look. It does look like a sort of 50s thing though, right?
Yeah.
50s thing, but don't be put off.
No, I got to hear that. I just spoke to Vinny recently, actually. So not Vinny, Sonny Vincent recently, because I play in a band, this cover band, some ridiculous cover band, but that they decided to put out the demo. I don't know why, but we did a cover of a Sonny Vincent song, so I sent it to him. And he liked it, so that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw him in Japan about 8 years ago. It was pretty cool, like small club. Yeah. It was amazing. Yeah.
He still kicks ass. He's awesome.
Yeah. I was surprised.
And he looks great, man. He looks fucking awesome.
He does look great. Someone is saying that he had like he does dye his hair though. I mean, don't we all?
He's still got his hair. He's lucky, man. He's lucky. He's got a good head of hair there.
Yeah. Yes, he has hair to dye. Exactly. Yeah. Andrew, what's your next pick?
My next pick.
I know what it is. Beast on My Back.
Kind of same year, maybe same year. Yeah. Beast on My Back was a year before this, I think. But that's my.
I'm sick of it all.
And Sick of It All has been talked about on the show before, but
not that one.
For some reason, nobody ever showed this record, which is their first album, right? Blood, Sweat, and No Tears.
Yeah.
On In Effect.
Yeah.
And following the amazing 7-inch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which the only thing that bothered me about this record when it came out was kind of like that they re-recorded like 7-inch songs, because the newer songs on here were so great. You know what I mean? They didn't need to. I thought they could have wrote more, but that's a little complaint. Who cares? But this was like my Ramones when I was a kid, and it's like this band. I'm from Queens, so everybody loves Sick of It All around there. So they were always the best live too. CBs and stuff back then. And Mark, aren't you have something to do with this record, right?
I'm on the cover, yeah.
You're on the cover.
Mark's on the cover.
Yeah, I'm on.
Zoom in.
You can barely see it. I get cut
Over
off
here?
almost.
Over here, right?
I can't tell. Yes, I don't know.
There it is. There it is.
It's like me.
So, yeah.
Like
Great band.
like-
and you know what? I wanted to show it because of Lou, you know, what he's going through, and, you know, everybody's pulling for him because he's such a nice guy and great for music, you know, our music and that we love. And like, why does this shit happen to like the best people? It's fucking
he's
crazy.
a nice guy.
You know?
He's great,
And
man.
Generation did cool. I bought the shirt. I was gonna wear it today. I couldn't find it. But,
Yeah,
yeah, those shirts you did were really cool. Clobbering time shirts for Fuck Cancer.
Yeah. That was Howie's idea. So we were glad to do it though.
Awesome.
You know, I remember being disappointed when that record came out for I don't know, maybe the production or something.
Yeah, it was maybe the production because they went to Normandy Sound and they were a band that should have stayed at Dom Fury because remember they did the 7-inch after this, Dom Fury, and it sounds amazing, right? With the Minor Threat cover, Betray, and stuff like that. So
yeah, but the 7-inch I liked a lot better than the LP.
Yeah, no, I mean, at first, like you said, I was kind of a little disappointed in the production and that they re-recorded 7-inch songs, but
yeah.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
Oh, no.
It kind of like it shaped a lot of our scene, you know, in New York. Like that record blew people away and it influenced a lot of people. It kind of propelled them to be like, do it for
AF
you know,
level,
hardcore band.
Murphy's Law level or something.
Yeah, that level.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was like they were like the next generation of doing that, and that's why they were so important to. Because I started going to shows like when I was 15, 16. So they came out at that time. So it was like kind of like perfect timing for me.
I bet you I saw them at that point in time. I probably saw them 30 times or something.
Wow.
Like
I know they played all the time, and they never sucked. And they never sucked.
No, back then.
They're always amazing.
And you know, that record actually, I put it on like a couple of years ago, and I was kind of surprised. I liked it more than I remembered. But remember when that KRS-One thing? That was a big deal back then.
That was a big deal, man.
That was a huge deal back then.
You know what's funny? KRS and Sigma, they have like a connection because I used to work at like Macy's in New York City, Herald Square, the flagship store. And the Sick of It All guys worked a couple blocks away. So they would always come in like on their lunch break and shop at Macy's. And at the same time, there was always like a famous rapper shopping. Like KRS-One or like, you know, Public Enemy or Tribe Called Quest or something like that, right? Because they love to go to Macy's and buy the clothes and stuff. That's where they bought all that fashion, right?
Right.
And because they had a lot of good stuff in the store of that ilk. And I was talking to Lou and we saw Big Daddy Kane. And he's like, that was fucking Big Daddy Kane. I was like, I know. I was gonna ask him for his autograph, but then I was like, he'd probably think I was an idiot if I did that.
That's when they had the tails. Remember they had tails back then?
Yeah, the Sick of It All guys had the tails.
When I was in Murphy's Law, we toured with Sick of It All through Japan.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, it was the Warp Tour. It was Social Distortion, Dog Eat Dog, Sick of It All, and Murphy's Law. And then they threw all these other bands on each show. Like I remember Blink-182 opened up our first show ever in Tokyo. Wow. It was like before they were big, you know, like really nice dudes. And we played with like what was that band from Japan? A Coco Bat.
Man, I love Coco Bat. It's like kind of funk metal. Amazing bass player.
They were great. And also we played with I forget who we played. We played with High Standard. We played.
High Standard is like they're big. You know, they're sort of like the effects of Japan.
They could play like big places, right? In Japan.
Yeah. Well, we were playing big play. This was like the Warp Tour, the first Warp Tour. We were playing we were playing shrunken arenas. They looked like they were like 6,000 people, but it looked like an arena, but if someone shrunk it, it was really cool. They were really cool. But I will tell you this: Sick of It All. I love that first 7-inch, and after that, it just sounds the same to me, which is fine because it's a great sound, right? They fucking kicked ass every single night, and Lou still had the rat tail at that time. He was the last one. He was the last one.
You know that rat tail thing? That was so weird because that was a really big thing. Like in 80s Britain, was the rat tail.
Yeah.
Especially with gothic girls and stuff, they would have.
Yeah.
And you could kind of get away with it at school. You could tuck it down the back of your school uniform, and like the teachers couldn't see it.
Yeah.
The second of all, guys were all metalheads first. So the rat tail was like them saving their hair. But I have the BJ Pappas photo on my wall of the alleyway.
Oh yeah, you do, man. Nice.
Yeah, and the reason I have that is because my wife grew up with them in Flushing, and she went to that school that the picture is in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's the alleyway where they hung out. It was like a junior high school.
Man, you know what? These are the things that I really like about these. It's like more than like what a record sounds like. It's like stories and stuff. I love the stories about record stuff. Like, love it.
Also,
I might shock people now. You know what my favorite Sick of It All record is?
Just Look Around.
Scratch the Surface.
Oh, that's a great record.
Which has that sort of helmet sort of.
Yes, it does.
It.
I love a straight ahead cover on it on the vinyl.
I love that video. You know the video I'm talking about, right? When I don't know where that video is shot. They're in a small club.
A little moshing.
Yeah, a little moshing going on. All right.
Did Pete ever do a lead? Never, right?
Pete?
Yeah.
You know what? You know what though? Like on he does really cool stuff. Just Look Around.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Pain Strikes, he does like some really cool guitar stuff on it. It's not really a lead, but it's kind of like a line. You know, and it sounds like if he can, I would kind of wish he kept doing that stuff after, but it just seemed like he went to like the more harsh, just metal tone. But that's fine. You know, that's what they do, and they sound amazing. And they've had many iterations. You know, where they went through different styles and stuff, but they always came out as came back to their roots, kind of like next record. You know, so. Let's see. I just hope they pull through and they do a new record. So you will.
That demo though, that demo was so caveman when that came out.
G.I. Joe Head Stomp. That's why one thing about this record is that they do the demo song G.I. Joe Head Stomp. It's like an instrumental. It's like a mosh. It's like a mosh thing to get people moshing in the beginning. You know, really cool. Cool song.
All right, Mark. What's your third pick?
Okay, so this is, I think, one of the best blaxploitation soundtracks from I can't remember if it's 72 or 73. It's definitely in my top 5 of blaxploitation. Black Caesar, James Brown. It's
Killer.
Fucking amazing. I can't say enough about this. It's a great film with Fred Williamson, directed by Larry Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
The music and the film just work together perfectly. James Brown and JB's are just amazing. Lynn Collins sings a couple, at least one track on this. It's just fucking stellar. Like, if you have a great stereo, this is where it doesn't shine on a Sick of It All record. It'll shine on something like this. And I don't know. This is one of my favorites. Anybody?
I have that record. I love it. I think like I love 70s James Brown. That's like my favorite era.
That's the best. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That like up until like 74, 75. You know, when he gets a mustache, that's what it's
that's it's all over.
yeah. When the disco thing happens, it's no good. But like that real like late 60s to early
late 60s. Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And then like Hell's really good. There's so many good 70s records.
Yeah.
But
that's a cool movie too. Like I love Larry. Larry Cohen's rad.
Larry Cohen's amazing. And I got this one. I got signed by Fred Williamson this year.
Oh, right.
He's kind of a jerk, but it's all right. But he's one of the last guys still around. From that era.
Yeah.
And if you get a blaxploitation, I think Superfly is really the best, but this is probably top 3.
See, Caffeine and Cookies is talking about PCP. Let's just talk about
PCP and Mustache. It's all over.
And let me PCP though. PCP is the most economical drug there is. As our old friend Steve Koss would say, you just a little bit of PCP and you get the whole room high.
That's a great quote. That's going to be the quote for this episode.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's all room high.
Well,
So economical. Just a little bit. Just a little
Just a
bit.
little bit. That's a
Okay.
great. Like I said, I love that era of. There's a couple of others like Hell, like you said, is great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the best era. So
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter, the band, or the
No, there's another
The
James
wrestler?
Brown. Yeah, there's another James Brown record.
oh, not Sergeant Slaughter. It's Slaughter.
Yes. No, it's Sergeant
That's a
Slaughter.
good soundtrack too. That's
Yeah,
that one's good. But this one kills
much
that.
better.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
trying
think
to
those are the only two soundtracks he right
remember.
besides Rocky.
Living in America.
Living in America.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to see James Brown at the Hammerstein Ballroom once.
No,
And it was pretty rad because Isaac Hayes came out,
Oh,
and that was pretty rad. And
Love
then
what year was that?
well, I guess it was one of those, those bartenders balls they used to do like every year.
Yeah.
It was one of those, and it must have been like maybe 99. Oh, they had Caffeine and Cookies said the big payback. Was that?
Yes, that's another great one.
Great one.
Yeah, I'm sat here just trying to think of all the 70s. It's a hard task to think of all the James Brown records from the 70s.
In the late 80s, he played at the Ritz.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I remember, that would be cool. One day he's going to be dead or whatever, right? And it's like, it's like, 1750 or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, why would I go to that? Why? It's like, I'll go see like GBH or something, but I won't go to that. Like, what the hell's wrong with me?
Well, we made weird decisions. We were children.
When you were young, we do stupid things.
Oh my God, that I regret. And then when he died, do you remember they had an open casket at the Apollo?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I went
by.
by.
I didn't go to that. It's like, what's wrong?
I
with
was
you?
going to go to that, but it was so fucking packed. I went by. I drove by on 125th.
Oh, did you?
My friends were going to go, but it was fucking the line was so long. I'm like, I'm not waiting for this. This is like, I don't know. And Caffeine Cookies reminds us that Hell Up in Harlem was rejected as a
Oh, that's right. He's right. Yeah, he's right. That's true.
Thanks,
Because what's his name did the Hell Up in Harlem?
There you go.
I can't do that.
Cool.
Nice.
Huh?
All right, Dean, what's your...
Okay, let's see this is where things start get weird. All right.
That was good, right?
First off, shout out to Tony and Ron who said
Tony
hello.
and Ron. Oh, there you go.
Tony and Ron. Let me tell you something. Those two, those two have so many records. They're like the probably out of all the record collectors I know, I think they have the most records ever. They have everything. It's wild. Everything in triplicates too. This is I Can't Stop Listening to This record, and it's Robert Palmer's Sneaking Sally Through the Alley record.
Wow.
You can see it. Still got the seal on it, and it's from Disco Mat, $4.99. I don't know if you see that. So okay, let's talk about Robert Palmer for a second. I guess the greatest musician to ever come out of Malta. He grew up in Malta, right? So that Robert Palmer, we growing up in the 80s, we know him from the latest,
that video, right?
It's a Love and all that, all that kind of stuff, and the Power Station too, which actually, when you go back and listen to those records, they're really pretty cool. But there's a different time. This record is fucking insane because it's Robert Palmer loved New Orleans music so much that he wanted to do a whole record of it. So one side, like half the record, is the Meters backing him up with Lowell George from Little Feat playing slide, and the other half is these fucking killer players, including Bernard Purdy in New York. And the record is seamless, like especially like the first three songs, the way they go into each other, it's like fucking seamless and it's perfect. It's like you can't believe how it sounds, and the whole record's covers. It's all Alan Toussaint covers and shit like that, and it's just phenomenal. It's like the pace of the record, choice of songs, and his voice is perfect. And you know, a lot of people could say like, oh well, he's just doing, you know, these covers of these songs, you know, like, and the originals are amazing. There's no doubt the originals of those songs are amazing, but he really loved that music so much, and like it shows on that record how much love he went into these songs, and the production is just fucking absolutely off the wall phenomenal. And Lowell George, another one who went way too young, you know, he's like 27 or 28. And that guy, holy shit, dude. I mean, you know, and we could talk all day about the Meters. I mean, it's like the fucking greatest players ever to play that kind of shit. I mean, they wrote the book on that New Orleans funk, and like, but Lowell George is playing on there is just like, it's just fucking sizzling. It's not, you know, there's other guitar players who fucking smoke and blow up and erupt and all this kind of shit. This guy just fucking sizzles. It never gets to that point. Like, he never brings it above that point where you're like, whoa. It's just like, holy shit, this guy, this guy, it's just so fucking confident and so fucking real. And that's the thing about this record. This record, it's so confident. Like, the vocals and the everything about it is fucking perfect. And like, to the point where it got to the point where I've owned that record for a long time, obviously, but I rediscovered it recently. That's why I brought it on the show. And it's one of those records where if you sit down with it, it's just like, you just listen to it over and over and over. And every song is just phenomenal. I'm a huge Alan Toussaint fan, and I'm a huge fan of all that New Orleans shit. So I love it. And, you know, and I think a lot of people, you know, especially our age, think, you know, we think of Robert Palmer and the videos and stuff, whatever you think of that. And this is just a whole different era. And he did a phenomenal job doing that kind of stuff. And that record should not be slept on. That should be in everyone's collection. It's
Is that from the 70s, Steve?
What's that?
Is that from the
Was
70s?
that record? Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I think this record's from, well, it's on Island.
Yeah.
See if I can read it. This is, you know, back in the day.
Like
when,
77, right? Because
Okay.
it's in the Eddie and the Hot Rods record. That's in the insert.
Actually, 1974.
Okay.
Oh, really?
74, yeah.
Okay.
And it's on Island because, you know, like Chris at Island Records, you know, he was signing all the reggae shit, you know, at that time too. And he saw that. He even says it, you know, he says that meeting Robert Palmer, besides him seeing him perform and sing so well, he said like Robert Palmer was a fucking absolute encyclopedia of music. Like, he loved the music so much, and he knew everything about everything, especially stuff that Chris was involved with. He knew everything about reggae. He knew everything about the you know, the New York scene, the New Orleans scene, the LA scene. He just loved it. He loved the music, and Chris Blackwell took a chance on him, and it was you know, very lucrative career. Extremely
Was that
lucrative.
record a hit though?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure that's, you know, that song. I mean, they're all covers, but I mean, Sneaking Sally Through the Alley was a big hit. And I think let me see. I think these first three songs were all hits, like Sneaking Sally Through the Alley, Sailing Shoes, which is a Little Feat song, and Hey Julia. You know, it's a fucking perfect record, man. It's amazing. Like, I highly recommend it, you know. And if you know, it's one of those records where if you're doing if you're doing your, you know, the dirty hand crate digging, you're gonna find it for like $5.
I was hoping you were going to say that. Yeah.
100% worth it. 100% worth it. You know, it's like, you can't lose. Can't lose with that one.
Dean, there's a Japanese singer I love called Akiko Yano, who did a lot of stuff with Yellow Magic Orchestra stuff. She's started in the 70s. I don't know how this happened, but she got Lowell George and Little Feat to play on one of her early records. And it's like, so it's this like Japanese sort of avant-garde singer who sounds a bit like Kate Bush, with like Little Feat backing her, and it's so funky and it's amazing. I'll show you it later after the show.
You gotta send me that.
It's amazing because it's called Japanese Girl is the name of the record. It looks like a postage stamp, but one side is called the Japanese side, and one side's called the American side. And the American side has Lowell George and Little Feat backing her up, and that's amazing. And I lived in Malta too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the 70s. My dad was in the Navy, so he got posted down. So I grew up in Malta.
How was that?
I was 7 years old.
Yeah,
but it was amazing because you just finished school at like lunchtime and go to the beach every day, and
awesome.
it was a good couple of years.
That's all. I really want to go there. I heard there's some weird shit on that island.
I haven't been there since like 1977 or whatever. So I don't know what's going on these days. But
do you know who's of Maltese descent from the New York hardcore scene?
Who's that?
Mike DeJohn.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He was the only guy I ever met from Maltese descent.
Well, that's it, Mark. Malta never comes up. So if anyone brings up Malta, I have to tell them that I lived there when I was a kid. So.
Wild. Wild. Mike, we were speaking before about Pete Kohler being a guitar player who never really played solos, but I will go on record in saying that Mike DeJohn is the greatest hardcore guitar player who never played solos. He's amazing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like learning those songs was fucking like me learning those Crown of Thorns songs was fucking chore, dude. It was a fucking
he's a really good guitar player. He does really interesting stuff.
He's amazing. He's amazing. He plays really weird inverted chords, like really nothing's really like I've seen other versions of Crown of Thorns with different guitar players, and they never played it correctly.
He plays like it almost sounds like Arabic or something the way he plays sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, no. He's a lot of drones too. What's that?
Okay. That's like Marauder too. Like the guitars, like the original guitars, like the guys who came after never played the way those guys did.
Yeah. It's a really weird. Like I even spoke to Mike about it, and I was like, and he's so cool about it. He's just like, yeah, whatever, but he's but of course being a fan, like I was like, what were you really into like D. Kreutzen and stuff? Because he had that weird style where it was like really weird inverted, like almost made up chords and stuff, but all worked. And then I've seen him live a few times. They're just like, wow. It's like, and like,
I bet you dollars to donuts. AJ probably showed him some stuff.
Probably.
They're tight.
I mean,
they're tight. He might have. They're real tight.
Yeah.
Oh, and they played in breakdown.
That's a guess. But
that's a very healthy guess. It's a very healthy Astoria gang guess.
Dollars to donuts. That's a great expression. I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
It doesn't touch $1 million riff, but we're
I'm going to say $1 million riff for my last pick. So
there you go.
I don't have too much to say about my next pick. I don't really know what to say about it too much. So I think actually this just sums it up. Actually, it's the insert of the record kind of sums it up.
Punk music.
Well,
punk music.
So I love Rod Stewart, but I don't have any Rod Stewart records to show. Right, but I do have a record with Rod Stewart on the cover. Mm-hmm. So let's bring him out. Let's bring out Rod Stewart. He's on the cover.
Yeah.
The Stitches. I'm all about like the 7-inch single collection. As an elderly gentleman, I don't want to be standing up and sitting down too much. So any band that has more than 4 good 7-inch singles, put one on a record like this. Save me the trouble,
Yeah.
Like Blitz did it recently. Blitz did it, and it's like, oh, thank you.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of the 7-inch singles collection. This is a great one. It's the Stitches, Southern California, mid-90s to mid-2000s. It's like seven 7-inch singles on a 12-inch record. And every song is amazing. It's just like going back to 77. It's like, people say like Killed by Death Punk, it doesn't sound like the Pistols or the Clash. It's like, maybe like, Raw Records, UK 77 punk, like that kind of thing.
Snotty kind of thing.
Snotty is the word. That's the word I wrote down to describe this. Snotty punk rock. And it's great. They put all the A-sides on the A-side and all the B-sides on the B-side. And if you did a blindfold, that wouldn't work. If you did a sort of, you wouldn't know if you didn't know, you wouldn't know which was the A side and which was the B side. That means all the songs are like, you know, a hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Great.
have a couple of those singles. They're really good. Was it 16?
That's the very first single. Yeah.
That one's good. That one's really good. And
it's the first
one
song
with
on the
fish
record.
blood on it. There's another one. You remember it had fish blood on it? It stunk. It literally had fish blood on it. Not the song wasn't called Fish Blood.
Actual fish blood.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
I still have it somewhere. But those early singles are really good.
Yeah.
When did that come out?
This collection came out 2013.
Oh, okay.
And it's on Wanda Records from Germany, and they've done a bunch of stuff too. It's on the other side of this somewhere. It's they've done a bunch of other sort of reissues. I think they did like the Briefs, as well, like a 7-inch single collection. Oh, here it is.
I just got that this week. The Briefs one. It's pretty
good.
Good.
There it is, right there. There you go. The Briefs with the stitches, and some other stuff. Yeah. Just amazing. Like every song is like a hit. You know, a really great snotty punk song.
They were doing like a 70s revival in the 90s, basically.
And I wonder, like, did people care about this band in the 90s? Were they sort of at the wrong time?
I don't know if anybody else.
No.
45
they were pretty big in Southern California.
Okay.
Right.
I'm friends with the guitar player, Johnny Whitmer.
Oh, really?
He's a great dude, and he fucking knows his shit. He's a big collector, knows his shit, and he's a great guitar player, great dude. And they were kind of like they were big in their time in the Southern California and the coast, and definitely the whole coast. They were big, like the whole coast. And I think they're getting back together, or they're already back together to do like
okay,
the nostalgia. We're doing the nostalgia run,
They're like, if the U.S. bombs were good, that's what they would sound like.
It's such like a fine line, like between good and between.
I think that band sucks, but I like Stitches though. Stitches are good.
No, Stitches are good. But U.S. bombs is like,
it's rough.
Yeah, it's funny though, man. Like how it's basically the sort of same kind of music, but it can go very badly wrong, right? Like, this band is great. Every song is great. Just great attitude. Great snotty.
I remember getting the album and not liking it as much as the 45s. But, that's just gotta happen anyway.
Yeah. I've got another one like the 2x12, like the 12-inch. That's pretty. Good
It's like pink and black, right?
That's it. Yeah.
I'm just really surprised that Andrew hasn't complained that they took the name from his favorite band, a Lower East Side.
Oh, I was wondering if any of you guys are going to bring that up. Actually,
I feel bad saying that.
I almost played bass for them.
I feel bad. I really, Mick came on tour with us. He's a great dude. Those guys are great.
He's a great dude.
And then R.I.P. Damien. I mean, Damien just
Damien
died not too long. He was a great dude. James was a great dude. I really like
James.
Todd. I like Todd Raddick too. So.
Did they call themselves that because there was already a band called the Stitches?
Yeah, they were the Stitches in New York, and then there was Stitches in L.A., and they had to change it.
LES.
And I think they played together a few times. I'm pretty sure they were. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they played together a few times.
Oh, Vinny Lee put that CD out.
Yeah, Vinny put the CD out.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah,
it's confusing,
It is.
It's all right.
And now Andrew's going to pull out his Falafel Mafia record.
No, I don't think there's a segue with that to this. But it's fine.
I'm laughing. I don't even know what the joke is.
You had to be from New York. You have to be from.
Or the Sisters Grimm.
Does Oakland,
oh my God!
Can Oakland bridge that gap somehow? I don't know. This band's from Oakland, so I can't. Falafel in Oakland, you don't think of that, Mafia in Oakland, I don't know. But there are those bands that they go through a huge progression in their career. They start out as one thing and end up as another, and maybe in the middle they put out like a magnum opus that kind of mixes it all together, and it puts them on a trajectory that's they're way different from where they started, and that's this band. Neurosis. Through Silver and Blood, I think is like their best record to me. I know a lot of people like the earlier stuff. I like the earlier stuff too. I like it all pretty much. I like the stuff after this too. But Neurosis have been talked about in the show before. I think somebody showed.
Not that one though. I forget.
Yeah,
Like, Souls at Zero is like my cutoff point. That's
Souls at Zero is amazing, and Enemy of the Sun I think is amazing too. And then this just kind of took it in a more metal direction, which I think it needed to be. They kind of created a whole genre, right, of avant-garde metal kind of. They got pretty popular, off this kind of stuff, and they kind of, they were still playing at like CBs when this record came out. Then after that, they couldn't play there anymore because they were too big, So it's just one of those amazing progressions, from Word is Law. Pain of Mind. What was I don't know. I forget the last record they put out. Forgot the name of it. Anyway, a lot of progression, and I think that's the reason I play Les Paul Studios, because of Neurosis. How they used to, the guitars and just all the instrumentation in Neurosis are just incredible. They're like just the amazing musicians, each one, and they come together, and it's just incredible. But it's kind of a shame what happened to them. They're done, and it's kind of a shame how it all shaked out, because they're such an amazing unit together. But we still have the records, right? We can still enjoy the music. They did a lot of recorded output, and they always sounded good. They never put out crappy sounding stuff, no matter what they were doing. So this is like the first press Relapse.
I was going to say they're sort of right a bit, or not in print. Maybe a lot of the records.
This record is not in print. I think the band Nurat, they started do the represses, but they changed all the artwork. And I kind of like this. I like this. Reminds me of when this came out. I had it on CD also, but really cool booklet, all lyrics stuff. But Locust Stars on this record. It's like one of the best songs they ever did. But to me.
And also such an influential band, especially in their hometown. Like that blueprint of Neurosis is kind of on every band out there. Like every band out there, every band out there that comes from out there, no matter what kind of, if they're playing some sort of heavy music, it has that Neurosis sound.
Yeah, but they probably even influenced Green Day. Didn't they all live together and stuff? Like they all influenced.
I think so. I think so. But I mean, like if you listen to like High on Fire, Sleep, and
Mastodon.
Well, that's from out there. That's from.
I'm just saying like bands they influenced too.
Yeah, but I mean like. I'm just talking about that Oakland.
Oh, from the Bay Area.
Yeah. Like you're talking about like bands like Weakling. Like Weakling is
an amazing black metal band.
Like that
record is classic.
It has that sound. It has that sound. Right. Speaking of a record that's cost so much now, that Weakling.
I know Weakling is like $200 or something, right?
No, it's like $800.
No, get the fuck.
I've seen it for $800. I just to
I have the CD.
Just to frame it for you guys, I have that record, but the only reason I have it is because my ex-girlfriend was the bass player for Weakling. So
wasn't one of the guys from the Champs in Weakling too?
Yes.
The long-haired dude, right? I forgot his name.
It was Tim from the Champs. So
Tim was in it. Okay, I thought it was the other guy. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. You mentioned Weakling, man. I haven't thought about them in a long time. I have the CD. I'll have to bust it out.
Yeah. My ex was in the bass player, so. We're still friends, and she doesn't have a record player, so she actually gave me the record. She says, "I'm giving you the record. Hold on to." I'm like, okay.
That's a cool one. Cool. That's a cool friend.
Yeah,
it's a cool friend. But just Neurosis is one of those bands that like they influence so many people, like punks, metalheads, hardcore kids. Like everybody kind of like got a taste, and back when they were doing the visuals and stuff, it was a heavy show. And they would end with the tribal drumming and stuff. It was really cool.
I mean, and that all influenced all those bands too, like from that area, like Wolves in the Throne Room, and what was that other band that was like a Crash Worship? That was like part of that crew too. That was like crazy fucking punk rock, but old tribal drumming with the fire and all this shit. that was like, that's all part of that same crew. It's like that Oakland had that thing going. Even those weirdo bands like, and those were weird enough, but like bands like Thinking Fellers Union and all these like fucking weird, like Carolina Rainbow, like all those weirdo fucking, you know, mushroomed out bands. But they all had this thing that sounded like Neurosis. They sounded, even when they were doing like poppy stuff, it sounds like Neurosis. It's wild. There it is. Dead as Dreams, going for a cool 1,000 these days.
Whoa!
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
And Daniel was on the show a couple of weeks ago, right?
Daniel's great. Yeah,
he was great because I really like what he said about. He was only one of that week. He was playing music that he really like needed to hear, like good stuff. You know that like
turning.
Right? That's kind of like what this record is for me. Like it reminds me of a really good time in my life. You know, so
love it.
But it's a devastating record. It's just like, and there's no song under like 6 minutes. Like it's all epics. Each song there's only like 2 or 3 songs on each side.
Right.
It's a double LP, but. I remember when that came out, I think I got a promo from Relapse or something on the CD, and I was like, I couldn't believe it was the same band that did Enemy of the Sun. It just sounded like so much more multi-layered and so much more nuanced and stuff. Really cool, and heavier, if you could believe it. But there you go. That's my second to last.
All right, Mark, what you got? 4th pick.
Well, I gotta go after Andrew, and then all my stuff looks all pussy-like now. It's heavy shit.
I'm flexing the muscle.
2 records, same band. Oh wait, Sparks.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Number one in heaven. Oh, number one in heaven, and Angst in My Pants. I can't tell. I don't know which one I like more this week, so I picked both of them. They're both very different records from each other. I feel like this is like the new wave record for them because I don't know when is this, 81 or 82 or something like that. And then this is from, I think, 79. Giorgio Moroni produced. It's total disco, but like it made me realize, wait, I really actually do like disco. Like this is an amazing record. You know, it's like, I don't know. You can tell it's the same band, but you know, it's just totally different styles. And that's what I like about Sparks a lot. It's like, I mean, they got some records I don't care much for, but I think these, besides the 70s ones, I think these are excellent. So that's my choice. I saw them about 2 or 3 years ago at the Beacon, and I usually hate big shows and I usually hate big crowds and everybody, but the crowd was all courteous and like nice people, and I actually had a great time. And, you know, my wife had a great time, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just one of those bands that I think I'll go see them anytime they play now.
Definitely one of the sort of strangest bands that sort of penetrated the mainstream.
Right.
I was terrified. I remember, like, you know, seeing them on Top of the Pops in the 70s as a kid. And and like, you know, it was frightening for a young boy, you know, seeing those two on TV because they were not like any of the other groups that were on the Pops.
They were pretty big. I mean, you have to be top 30 to get on Top of the Pops.
Yeah, they were huge. Yeah, and we always thought they were British because they were on TV so much. We just, as kids, we thought they were a British band, and they do kind of sound a little bit eccentric and British, actually, a bit. But I was kind of stunned to find out that they were both more brothers and American, like years later.
I mean, I don't see it. I don't think they were commercial here enough for me to discover them as a kid, and then I think I discovered them through the Valley Girl soundtrack, if anything.
That's good soundtrack.
Yeah, it's a great soundtrack. So I'm pretty sure that's how I discovered Sparks, and then, you know.
Yeah, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us was a huge hit in the UK, and Number One Song in Heaven was a huge hit too in the UK.
Was it? See, I don't remember that song at all.
Yeah.
At that time.
Huge hit. I think it might have even been number 1, maybe. But both big hits. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming you guys saw the documentary.
I did it. I still haven't seen that.
Dude, it's the fucking best. It's the best.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
I
the
know.
best music documentary ever made. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. Like, it's amazing. Like, I always liked Sparks, and then I saw the fucking documentary, and I'm like, holy shit, this fucking, it rules. It just fucking rules. Like, it rules. Like, they're hilarious, and it's just like this band that never gave up. It's fucking amazing. Like, that documentary made me so happy watching that, because it's an incredible music documentary, and everyone on screen is extremely honest and extremely upfront about everything that was going on and how they do their work, and it's phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal. Like, I always like Sparks. Like, my favorite record is Kimono My House. I think that record is good. Another record where, like, the bass tone is like, holy fuck, dude, what did that come from? It's so good. But like that, I always liked them, but that documentary put a whole new 1,000 tons of respect for that band more again. And that documentary is phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal.
So even if you don't like the Sparks, it's still like an enjoyable. If you're a fan of music, it's still a great documentary, right?
Yeah, well, it's like I watched that, but a friend of mine's like, "Oh, you got to see the George Michael documentary." Or the
That was amazing.
The Wham
really good.
You guys see the Wham documentary? I'm like, do I have to see the Wham documentary? I guess I do. I watched it, and it was awesome. It was to put them in a whole new respect. And after
their childhood together.
What a great guy, he was, George Michael,
Yeah. But after watching that, I was like, oh, I got it. Everyone's been talking about the Sparks one too. So I watched the Sparks one. It was like, what an amazing night to see those two documentaries in one night. It was like, wow.
Right.
Like, fucking.
All right, I'm gonna try to watch it.
Mark, it's incredible. After you guys watch Mandy,
Sparks, George Michael,
and of course Chopping Mall.
Sure, yes,
I've seen Chopping Mall. Come on.
Well, watch it again. It's Chopping Mall. You watch it again. You have to watch it. It's like, for me, like, every time Poltergeist 3 comes on television, like, I have to stop everything and watch Poltergeist 3.
That's the one in the building?
Yeah. It's the best.
I haven't seen that since
it's the best. The best. But neither here nor there. Should I go and annoy you?
Yeah,
guys?
what's your fourth pick?
I'm coming in with a brand new one.
Nice.
Brand new one. Here's the new Oranzi Pazuzu.
Oh wow.
Oranzi, and I will not be able to pronounce the name of this record, but it's called Moon Tao Taoja. I don't everything's in Finnish. Everything's in Finnish, right? They're a Finnish band, right? Yep. So everything's in Finnish, and this record, I always, I like their stuff. I always did, and I unfortunately, one of the big regret is I didn't get to see them last time they came through town. I was supposed to go, and I had to give up a ticket for some reason or another, so I never got to see them. That record is fucking beautiful and terrifying. Like, it's really awesome. Like, it's like, it's. I think you would really like it, Andrew, if you really like the Neurosis.
I like that.
It has that kind of vibe that it also has a really heavy Pink Floyd vibe, and really a lot of weird nods to a lot of krautrock, like, Can Amandul, like weirdness, like repetitive droning and stuff like that. And again, there are some songs on here, especially the first song, and there's a couple songs, but it's really a vibe thing. It's a vibe thing, and I'm like, when I was a child, a very young child, when the first real band I loved, that I fell in love with, was Pink Floyd. So like that, it sounds like that.
Right.
Filtered through some like psychedelic Finnish black metal band, and like, how can I go wrong with that? So as far as new stuff goes, I'm a huge fan of this Oranzi Pazuzu record. It's really excellent stuff, and I hope to see them sometime soon live, because I've never seen them, and I've heard they're incredible live. So, and you guys seen them?
That record, I listen to it on streaming all the time. Cos Monument.
Yeah, that record's great.
That record's sick.
Yeah.
I've got like the first two, I think, and then I didn't keep up with them. But yeah,
But that new record it's phenomenal. It's really like it's another vibe record. It's really, you know, like, yeah, there are some songs on there, but overall, like as a vibe, it's just like, you know, and it's one of those records like it, you know, defies the space-time continuum at times. You know, you don't know where you are if you you know really get into it.
Right.
So it's cool, and I'm definitely a fan of them, and I think it's I think what they're doing is unique and pretty wild.
Great pick.
Great.
Thank you.
Goodness. Last round, man. Time is
Flying by.
flying by. Okay, $1 million riffs. You asked from or didn't ask from. You're getting them. Everyone who watches this show regularly knows that I'm. When it comes to the new wave of British heavy metal, I'm not fussy. I'll take anything. This one is actually a genuinely great record, but it came out a little late, like 1984. It's Neat Records, which is the the label for the new wave British heavy metal from Newcastle. I think, man, the Toy Dolls are from Newcastle. Toy Dolls, and Venom, Raven, also from Newcastle. This band was
like Upstarts, right?
Angelic Upstarts, I think, were from Newcastle.
The Lurkers,
or near Newcastle.
I think the Lurkers were from there.
No. Lurker,
No?
maybe. Let's know in the comments. Lurkers, maybe. Let's know in the comments.
When we played, I'm friends. Oh, Penetration. Penetration.
Big town, big sort of music history.
Not just the, and also out of every show I've ever played in, when we played Newcastle, the best audience participation singing I've ever heard in my life.
That's funny because a lot of bands take recordings from either Newcastle or Glasgow for their live records because of the audience participation. So.
It's not, but their singing was like fucking unbelievable. Like they sang along to our songs, and it was like we had to stop. I was like, we want to listen to you guys. It was like, and we talked to everybody after the show. I was like, oh yeah, we all grew up in church singing, and I was like, you guys sing. It was like singing in harmony. It was amazing.
They like to sing, right? And the football team.
Yeah, Tony just told us the Animals.
The Animals.
Yeah, and Voorhees.
Voorhees
Cradle of Filth in there too, right?
I thought Voorhees. Cradle of Filth, maybe. I thought Voorhees.
Name every band from Newcastle in the
Voorhees is a good one.
Venom.
I think Voorhees were from Leeds. Hellbastard were from Leeds.
Yeah, Voorhees was from Leeds, I think.
I thought Voorhees was from Leeds.
Voorhees was from Leeds, yeah.
Oh, look
anyway, this was actually produced by Kronos from Venom. He did a good job, actually. Prepare yourselves for the best/worst band name accompanied by the best/worst cover art of all time. 1984, Newcastle. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Tysondog.
I know that record.
Check out this bad boy. Tysondog. Beware of the dog. Lovely stuff.
Love it.
Yeah. This is for fans of like Angel Witch and Satan and Blitzkrieg and all the sort of classy new wave British heavy metal bands who have a good singer that isn't operatic, stays in the pocket, $1 million riffs, great guitar playing. People, experts in the field say, new wave British heavy metal's dead by 1984. This is a sort of too late to the party. I don't agree with that. This is a sort of top tier record in the genre, and great lyrics. Not just so we don't need to sort of talk about lyrics in new wave British heavy metal bands, but sort of almost like socially aware, like political lyrics, almost about like life, and great song titles. Let me read them out: Hammerhead, Dog Soldiers, Demon, Dead Meat, Voice from the Grave, Day of the Butcher.
I love it.
You know it's going to be good when you hear song titles like that. But
also, that record cover is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Where did they get the name from? Was Mike Tyson popular in 1984?
No,
right? So they didn't
later 80s.
Right, so they didn't
That's
take the
what
name
they-
from like Mike Tyson's Pitbull or whatever, So
Yeah.
I don't know like where they got the name, and it's
Tyson
one word
Dog
as
is,
well.
it's not like a name of a pub or something like that, right?
The Tyson Dog. Ooh, let's go for a pint at the Tyson Dog. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's not. I don't know where the name comes from, and it's like one word. And I think we'll say, "Oh, they never became popular because of the name." It's like this music doesn't become popular, whatever the name of the band is. So it's nothing to do with the name.
But you love it. That's all that matters.
I love it, and I did look it up. People do rate this record, but it's like 84. A bit late.
That's a record I used to see in the stores all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, someone wrote it's the other Tyson, the British criminal.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't. Maybe could be from the 80s. Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I used to see that record all the time. I never picked it up. It was just one of those records that you always pass through.
It sort of stands out, doesn't it, when you see it?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's like the bloody door. Obviously, the dog has I don't know, killed someone, maimed someone. Blood on the ice. I know. I love this stuff, man.
I like that stuff too.
Yeah.
Like crucifixion and Satan, and I love all that shit. Anything on all that neat record stuff was
Neat
really
records,
cool.
yeah.
Some of it was a little brittle, like Bitch of Sin and stuff like that. But I still like it.
I love Bitch of Sin.
I
Like I said, I'm not fussy. I like.
You know what band doesn't get enough fucking respect? Vardis.
Oh,
fucking Vardis is great.
Vardis is like amazing.
That band
Let's
is
have a
mad.
Vardis party later. I'll show you my Vardis.
Dude, that fucking Let's Go record
Let's
and
Go.
100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour.
Killer, dude. Those songs are amazing. Songs are
Three-piece.
killer. Lion Share.
Lion Share.
Killer,
Now we're
dude.
talking.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. All right. That's my last place.
But now Andrew's like, oh, I'm psyched because I'm going to show you my Dumpy's Rusty Nuts record.
Oh, yeah. Dumpy's Rusty Nuts is great.
It's from Brooklyn. I don't know.
Before I forget, I'm just letting you know, I guess about a month ago, I met up with Will Tarrant and we went to go see fucking Saxon and Uriah Heep, and it fucking ruled. It ruled.
You must have had a blast.
Dude, the best.
Will would be perfect for the show, but he doesn't collect records.
No, the best was just going to the show with Will, and then between he and I, by the end of the night, we knew every single person in the room.
Of course, you guys could work the crowd.
I like the fact that like the older band, Uriah Heep, are sort of now kind of supporting the younger band, although Saxon obviously aren't young anymore, but that's a great double bill, Saxon and Uriah.
It was a great double bill, and both bands were fantastic. They were fucking great. And I was never a big Uriah Heep fan growing up, but I like them more now. But when I was growing up, I was like, oh, this sounds like Deep Purple. It's cool, but I'd rather listen to Deep Purple. But now those records, I think, are really cool. Like
they're sort of slightly outside of they're not quite as good as Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. Yeah. They're almost there. They are a great band, but they're not quite as good as like Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin or Deep Purple. But great records though.
Yeah, they are good. They are good, and they were great live. I'll tell you that. And Saxon fucking ruled. They were great. I mean, fucking Biff still sounds great. He's like 72 years old. He's fucking great. Killer.
You got to love Biff Byford, man. What a legend.
It's awesome.
All right, Andrew, what's your last pick? What you got?
So I'm gonna switch from metal to hip hop here, and this is a band from Brooklyn, and they're playing here in Long Island in a couple of weeks. And I was listening to the record because I'm going to go to the show, and they're kind of considered hardcore hip hop because they have like some punk adjacent stuff going on with them. And you ever hear this band, Nonfiction?
Yeah,
dude. Just because it looks like Voivod logo, right?
Well, Away did the logo.
Yeah.
These guys are all like metalheads and stuff originally. Like they became hip hop artists. But these guys from Brooklyn, Glenwood area of Brooklyn, which is near Canarsie, and you could say they're from Canarsie too. But this record is like groundbreaking hip hop record, New York City classic, kind of just different avant garde, where in how they rap, what they talk about. they'll drop like Morbid Angel lyrics, and, references to Earache Records and all kinds of stuff like that in their songs. Even though the music is just straight hip hop, really, it's not metal at all. But they'll drop like they'll talk about like Saxon in the song or something. Like, just give you an example, they'll drop something like that in their songs, and they definitely appeal to the punk metal community,
right?
But they're on their whole own trip. But
also didn't get the respect that they should. They're great.
I think now they're getting more respect. There was a demand from them to come back, and now they're playing and stuff. They just put out a new 7-inch. I think it was MF Doom single.
Cool.
MF Doom is actually, rest in peace, is actually on this record.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And Beatnuts are on this record. Who else? Steven from the Deftones and two guys from Fear Factory on. Oh, there is like one kind of metal industrial song at the end, but
is that Necro guy in that?
Yeah.
Necro is not in nonfiction, but
he was part
he's
of
the
that.
brother of one of the guys in nonfiction, and he produced a lot of the songs on here. And he's on a couple of songs, but he's not officially in the band. Okay. And they're both on the same label, Uncle Howie Records. So
right.
Yeah, just one of these classic records, that came out of New York 2002. We weren't ready for it, and people still haven't widely adopted it, but they really should. I mean, it's one of those classics, Doesn't get enough respect, like Dean said.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
I think that came out on Record Store Day, right? Like a reissue of that a couple years ago?
Maybe I have the original. Actually, I did have a reissue of it, but I sold it because I got the original from Bobby from Vinyl Conflict had it, and I hit him up once in a while. I hit him up. I'm like, dude, I need that, and he's like, I'll ship it to you, no problem.
He probably got it in Japan when he was over here.
Shout out to Bobby, the best guy in the world. But,
Bobby's great. Yeah, love Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby's shit. But yeah, cool. Love the artwork. It's amazing.
Yeah, killer.
Gotta love a gatefold.
Hey.
I love that they got a way to do the artwork. It's fucking great.
Yeah. Fucking away, man.
It's so cool.
I mean, what does that say about them, right?
Yeah.
Well, it says that they're fucking cool and hip.
What do they look like? Are they looking dudes?
They look like hip hop dudes.
But Gore-Tex is cool, really cool. I love Gore-Tex in the band. He used to come to like my old band shows and stuff. He's friends with the bass player of my band. And,
that picture looks a little bit like the Sick It With All picture, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, it's a fisheye lens. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's great stuff. Great stuff. And, who did this artwork? I gotta see. I can't read it.
Hi, kitty. Does Howie ever do a podcast with one of those dudes?
Skittle
Bill? Maybe.
Skittle.
Yeah, I think you do, maybe. I'm not sure. I've heard it.
I think it's with Bill. You're right.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but whoever did this record artwork is great, and this is an amazing record. Check it out.
Nice.
Can't wait to see them. They're playing in the club close by. So
where are they playing?
Amityville AMH.
Oh, okay, cool.
And they just redid Amityville Music Hall. They took over the next door space and they expanded it. So, like, Judge is playing there in 2 weeks. We Kill Your Idols. I'm gonna go with that. Outburst is playing too. I think Mike Dijon is an Outburst, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I'll see him. I'll see him there. So,
well, tell him I said what's up. When is that nonfiction show?
It's in like 3 weeks. I think it's like near Thanksgiving, somewhere around there.
Okay. So I come down to Long Island at least once a week.
All right, well, gotta call me, dude.
I will. It's work's been destroying my life.
Same with me.
I'm in the fucking car like 8 to 12 hours a day, killing me.
Sorry,
what can you do? Could be worse. Could be not worse.
Could be not. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We got to do what we got to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, Mark. What's your
okay?
Last
I don't know anything about this band, but this single rips. I know they're English.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys. I'm not sure if you guys will know it. I'm curious. Shadowfax, the Russians are coming.
I don't know that.
This is a fucking banger. I don't even know what it's considered. It sounds like new wave of British heavy metal.
I was going to say, that was my thought, was that that's a new wave of British heavy metal single. That's the first thing I thought of. Yeah.
Okay. It's but it's real punky too, and I don't know. It's real vague. It's like real stupid lyrics. I don't know.
I'm already into it. You got me sold.
The B side sounds like Sweet, but the A side, I don't know. Let me see. Sorry. Can you see this? It's got like, it looks like the carnivore guy or something, or the Sodom guy, or whatever. I don't know what the hell it is.
All out.
It's terrible cover. Look at it. It's like some kid's binder or something.
Not as bad as Trip 6. You're
Great.
right.
I love it though. It's great. It's a really good single.
Dean's favorite band, by the way, Trip 6.
Whose favorite band is Trip 6?
Dean.
No, that was you got me mixed as Bad Trip.
Bad Trip.
Bad Trip 6.
I think isn't that considered like a sort of is that like a reissue or a bootleg, or isn't that like one of those sort of really super rare new wave of British heavy metal singles?
As far as I know, it's not like a reissue. As far as I looked it up, it's never.
Where'd you get it? England?
I got it on the internet years ago, before it blew. And I just found it one day on YouTube, and then I got it on the internet, like I guess some probably Discogs, and I've never seen one. I don't know anybody that knows anything. I played it for Ron Grimaldi. He never heard of it either, and he was like, "It's great, you know. It's just catchy. It's dumb, but whatever." And I was hoping you would know it, Mike, because
I know the name and I've seen the record, but I don't think I've ever listened to it.
Okay,
it's definitely like one of those like maybe 1 7-inch only like new wave British.
Yeah, definitely.
That does sound punky, and it makes sense. I mean, it was a sort of DIY movement. The 7-inch single, very influenced. But there's a lot of bands that sound like the Sweet too, because that's what those guys kind of grew up on, right? Was the 70s heavy rock and glam and stuff. So it kind of comes out in the music.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going for exactly. I think like, if this is a hit, we'll go this way or that way or whatever. I don't think they know yet even what they're going for. It's really, I don't know. I don't know anybody else that knows this. So if you do, write something because I'm very curious.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing
it. Me too.
Yeah. Check it out.
Cool stuff.
The Russians are coming. So it's kind of like that Which Find the General song or something.
The Russians
are big though.
Hilarious. So funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Dean, it's the last pick of the show.
All right, so last pick of the show is a reggae record, actually.
Okay.
And, I can't stop listening to this record. I listen to it at least 4 times a day. Just put it on repeat, and it got to the point where at first my wife was annoyed because I was playing it so much, and now she loves it. And then and it's an old record. This is from 1970. I don't know, 70. Let's see, it's 32 years old. But the record is, in my opinion, I think this is the greatest reggae record ever made. Dr. Ali Montado, the best dressed chicken in town.
Going back to the chicken theme that we started with.
Yeah. So that album cover is hilarious. Dr. Ali Montado wearing ripped up, his flies open, and he's just walking around town. It just doesn't make any sense. I guess it does if you're, from Kingston, Jamaica. But either way, this is a record. This record it's what they call a version record. Like this is the beginning of hip hop right here. It's one of the very beginnings of hip hop. I mean, reggae in Jamaica was the beginning of hip hop. It was a DJ and someone toasting over it. But this is what this is. This guy takes different versions of songs that were already recorded, like with Lee Perry or King Tubby, and does his own vocal toasting over it, like different versions, and they do samples and stuff. This is early versions of samples, and I cannot get these fucking goddamn songs out of my fucking head. I'm telling you, dude, the songs are absolutely phenomenal. Like there's songs on, and it's the album, called Best Dressed Chick in Town, you think it's, the record cover, you think it's going to be goofy. It's not, dude. The songs are fucking phenomenal, and they're poignant. Like he has one song called Poison Flower, which was a big hit, and that was about a true story about this cornflower that was shipped to Jamaica, but it was under some poison, and everyone, like 17 people died, 69 people got sick, and 17 people died from this shit. And like, it's just phenomenal. And also, there's a lot of stuff going on here about like, typical, what you would think is typical, like Natty Dread, talking about dreadlocks and stuff. But people don't understand, people outside of Jamaica don't understand how radical that movement was. Like, that was like, first of all, reggae in Jamaica was like fucking punk rock. Like, this was like punk. Like, it wasn't, sure, it became huge, but it was like, older people were fucking afraid of that shit. Older folks in Jamaica, they were afraid of that shit. That was like punk to them. Like, and dreadlocks and Rastafarian shit, they were fucking, they were afraid of this stuff. And like, it's like a whole, this is like Jamaican punk, and the fucking songs are absolutely phenomenal. Like there's some songs on here that I just cannot get out of my head, like, at all. And I turned on so many people to it, like, lately, even though it's an old classic record, I've just been being like, dude, you gotta listen to this record, and everyone just like coming around singing these songs. It's hilarious. It's totally hilarious. 100% recommended. Probably the best, best reggae record probably ever made, I think, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all that stuff. I love, and I love Bob Marley, and I love all that early blue beat stuff. I love all of it. I really do. But this is, as far as songs go, it's phenomenal. Like, absolutely phenomenal record with no fillers at all. No fillers at all. Like, it's all killer, no filler for, and that's, that's something to be said about that. See, the cat even likes it.
I have that record, and I love it. Of course, I haven't listened to it for ages, though, maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 years. I think the reason I haven't listened to it is because I'm having the problem that you're having, where I couldn't get the songs out of my head. So I got to stop listening to this.
And you're absolutely right. Like, I'm dreaming the songs. Like, I wake up, I have the songs in my head in my dreams. Like, it's really fucked up. Like, and like it's but songs are amazing. Like, they're like fucking unbelievable. Like, if songs get in your head like that, that's, that is a fucking gift. That is a fucking goddamn gift. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing, because that is like a song. That's songwriting heaven right there. If you have songs, even if it's dumb, even if it's a dumb song, but it gets in people's heads, God bless you. That's you don't even that's all you need.
Well, I agree. It is about the songs. I mean, my first pick was kind of, a different kind of record, but it was a certain kind of music. But what sets it apart is the great songs, like,
Yes.
the great kind of catchy songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need. You need a good. Most kinds of music need good songs, really, to sort of keep you coming back to the. Totally right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We talked about records that are just a vibe, that don't have
right. True.
soundtrack stuff that doesn't really have such a memorable song. Maybe it does. It's really great, and that's fine too. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to music, we could talk about, like, as today we're talking about every fucking genre under the sun. Really, if we really want, we could continue. I know us, and we can continue going on, and we'll start showing like Dvorak records and fucking it doesn't matter. But
we'll save that for my Patreon content.
Exactly. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's only 2 things that matter with music, and number 1 is songs, and number 2 is sounds. It's like it's like, that's why we love stuff like Andrew was showing, like Neurosis. Like, to me, like Neurosis, like, I don't remember the song so well, but I remember the sounds. I definitely remember that. Like, a Winter record, I have that record. I remember what it sounds like. I don't remember the song so well, but I remember loving that sound.
Right.
Sonic.
True.
Yeah. But then there's also masters of the genre who come up with a sound and have the songs, like Kraftwerk or Celtic Frost, or bands, like just bands that created a sound and actually were songwriters. So, but that being said, best dressed chicken in town. Highly recommended if you want to.
Seconded.
Highly recommended. Like it's absolutely contagious. That record.
Great record. All right, man. We covered a lot of ground in this episode, which is great. You know, that's amazing. We had a great time. We'll sort of carry on talking a little bit after the show. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a great couple of hours. I've had a great time. I'm still having a great time. We'll keep on chatting a little bit after the show. No show next week. I've got to work. It's one of those rare weekends in the calendar that I have to work. So November 22nd is the next show. I haven't finalized the lineup yet, so stay tuned for an announcement. Episode 95. You know what? Because of this work day, episode 100 is going to bleed over into 2025. It's not going to be the last show of the year. That's okay though, right? I was thinking episode 100 will be the last show of this year, but it'll be the first show of 2025. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think it's good. Should be a
thanks to everybody who tuned in. It was rad.
Yeah, some good chat.
Yeah, and Skittles says bye. Right, Skittles? What do you say? What do you say? You want to say something?
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you missed it live, you won't see this message, but if you missed it live, the episodes are all available to watch anytime you like on the Analog Attack YouTube channel under podcasts and live. So don't worry if you missed the live stream. Until next time, stay healthy and